Hello everyone, I'm Metal Nick, and today I got a bit of a different Call of Duty video. And here we're gonna be ranking all the iron sights of all the weapons in the game. Why did I want to do this? Because I thought it would be cool. I don't know, I just thought it was something a little different, like I just thought it was like a different kind of video to make and something that I haven't seen yet. So I feel like I wanted to take the opportunity and make a video like this, you know, ranking just all the iron sights, because they do play a big role when you're building your class, building your loadout, that is. That, you know, if you have a weapon that has a good iron sight, you can free up a slot. So I think it would be good if we could rank all of them and see which ones are good, which ones are not, so we can decide better how to build our loadouts. And yeah, and also because I haven't found any database or nothing that, you know, cataloged all the iron sights in the game, at least the base ones, not counting blueprints, because, you know, that would be too much to catalog. So I just went to Plunder and I would grab each and every weapon here, or you know, the ones that I am ranking here, because I'm not ranking blueprints. I haven't included blueprints, snipers like the HDR, the X50, Dragunov, and the right tech, because they have scopes as their default. So I thought it would make sense to include them here. And I haven't included launchers, although, you know, the RPG does have a iron sight, but that's not the point here. And melee, obviously, because you don't aim outside with a knife. So yeah, I just went to Plunder. I would grab each weapon, aim at the wall here, take a screenshot, rinse and repeat for every weapon. The only exception is the Bruin and the Holger, because I didn't unlock these, and I don't plan on unlocking them. So I just went to exclusive Ace's channel on his like gun guide and got the screenshot here. And, you know, it works. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Oh, actually, one more thing. I wanted to include barrels that change the iron sight significantly, because, you know, the blueprints do change it a lot, but it would be too hard to have every blueprint here. So I limited to only the barrels, and as far as I know, the only barrel that significantly changes the iron sight is the Archangel barrel on the growl. So this is the only exception that I'm making here for attachments, I guess. I know some of the other barrels do change, like the M4 changes the front sight post a little bit, but very tiny changes. So I'm just doing like the big one here, which is the growl, the only exception I'm making here. Now, without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the 1911, I can't say much about the pistols because they're very basic iron sights. So, but, you know, I guess it's really nothing special. I guess I put it on C for now. I'm gonna go like in order that they show up, just to keep it organized. 357, it's about the same. Just very basic iron sight, nothing special. 50 GS, again, same thing. I guess it's not much to say about it. It's like a little notch in the middle and a front sight and a little post there in the end. 725, 725, it doesn't have a rear sight. It just has a little front sight bead at the front with a little red glow. And I mean, I haven't used this weapon a lot, but I guess it gets the job. But it's a shotgun. You're gonna be in the face of someone when you shoot it, so I don't know, maybe a B, because at least it's clean. I will say that. AK-47, man, I don't know, man. This, it's very like claustrophobic. That's the best I can describe it. Like, just like the rear sights, the rear sight block on this thing is really big, and you have this teeny tiny notch with the front sight post there. So I find it really hard to keep on target. Like, I can lose my target really fast when I'm using the iron sights on this thing. So honestly, I'm gonna put it on D for now. Maybe I'll change it a little bit. Maybe I'll add another tier. I don't know. I always tend to change, like, add tiers along with it, because anyway. And then for, man, this thing, I play with it, and like, that's the weird thing. Like, just looking at it seems normal, seems usable. When you actually use this thing, like, it's super bad. Like I just can't keep on target at all with this thing. Maybe this dude, like, maybe it's because of the, like, the actual body of the, because like the N94 has like a weird, it's just like the stock is really weird. So like the body, like the upper part of the gun is really high up, and you have like all this entire thing just covering your sight, you know. And maybe that's a contributor to the bulkiness of it. Plus, you know, just the rear sight, the entire rear sight, fuck, I can't say anything. The rear sight of this thing, like, has this entire body here, and it just makes it really hard to use. So that's a D. Bison. It's similar to the AK, like very similar. But since, you know, using this up close, it's not a big deal, I guess. So that's a C. Bruin. I have not used, again, I didn't unlock this, so I just used like the floor loot. And, you know, I'd say it's B. It's B. It's fairly clean in the middle. You have this, like, front side post is fine. It's just there's a lot of bulkiness around it, like its handle and everything. The rear sight block thingy here. But, you know, you can stay on target, I'd say. Like, I haven't used this much, but I feel like it's alright. CR56, man. I might be a little biased on this thing because I haven't used much, but when I did, it just felt like this gun was gonna fly off the character's arm, because it kicks so hard and it moves so much. You know, it might look clean, but when you're shooting this thing, it's really hard to keep on target. So I don't know, man. I'm putting it on D. EBR. I mean, it's a floor loot right now, and you can get a kill with it. Like, you can kind of keep on target, but there's a lot of bulk to it, so I think I'm gonna put it on here, on D. Foul. I mean, when the foul was good, it didn't matter if you had like a clear sight picture, because you were using this at close range. So I don't know, like, for what it is, it's fine. It's not bulky. Maybe a little bulky on the rear side, the circle here. Like, front side is pretty. There's a very teeny tiny pulse there. Kind of reminds me of the M4, but I'd say it's a C. It's not terrible. The FAMAS, man. If the FAMAS wasn't such a shitty gun, it would be really good to use with the iron sights, because these are very clean iron sights, man. Like, you can't deny it. Like, as bad this gun is, as bad as this gun is, the iron sight is good. Like, for real. So like that's an A. Surprisingly, it is an 8 because like the side is really good. Fennec, man, this thing. Like, it doesn't really matter too much the actual side because you're gonna use this up close. But look at this sheer amount of bulk around this thing, and like the front side is also like has this like almost circle here. It's extremely bulky and I kind of don't like it, so I'm gonna go D. Fin, man, this is like virtually the same as the FR, same as the FAMAS, so I think it goes up there as well. Plus, you know, the fact that this gun is super accurate, you know, with the normal barrel really helps it, because like, sure, you can have a pretty good sight, but if the gun's like super hard to use, you might not want to use it. But you know, since the fact that this gun's so accurate, like you can very confidently use this sight. I mean, I'd say it's even S tier, man. I'd say it's even S tier, but you know, let's see how I change stuff. Okay, so the Grau is the Archangel barrel. I know it's more of an exception because, you know, it's not the base gun, but let's be realistic here. No one in their right mind is gonna use like the normal barrel or any of the other barrels on the Grau. They're gonna use the Archangel. So I think we should include it, and no doubtedly it's S tier. Like, fuck, man, like this thing is super clear, you know. The gun overall is very clean. Like the only bulkiness is from the hand of the character itself, but like the gun is super thin. The sights is super clean. Like the front sight post is like a pixel, you know. It is really good. Regular Grau is not too bad either. It's just like the front sight circle here, it's a bit adds a bit of bulk to the picture, because like the Archangel man's like have all this like open space, which really helps you keep on target. So like I put the Grau, the normal Grau on A tier. The Holger, it's very similar to the Bruin, but it has a little bit less bulk, and the front sight, the protective post on the sides is a bit wider, so you get a little bit of side picture. So I think I'm gonna rank this A. Too bad the Holger is not a good gun, but the ISO, it's gonna, the sight does have some bulk, but the fact that not only like the front sight post like lines up almost perfectly, the front sight almost perfectly matches the rear, so you get a nice, somewhat clean picture. And this gun kicks up pretty much straight up, so you can like, you can keep on target pretty easily. I'd say it's an A tier, man. Alright, no, okay, B. Let's not get too shabby here, just B. Solid B. Car 98, I mean, no one uses the Car 98, but you know, nobody uses the Car 98 with the iron sight, let alone any other sight aside from the scope. So but you know, for what it is, it's very hard to use, so it's a D for me. It's like really bulky because it's a very shallow sight. It's like nearly on the body of the gun, so it's a really small. Kilo, Kilo has a pretty decent sight. I think if it weren't for the front being so tiny like this, so you have this like inner circle in it, it kind of obstructs your view a little bit from like longer distances, but you know, it's very clean, very slim around it, so you know, you can keep on target pretty good. So I think it's an A. It's an A. Actually, no, B. Let's tone it down. B. M13. Honestly, I don't like it. Um, there's a bit of bulk. Again, you have the inner circle thing, which kind of ruins it because it obstructs so much of your sight. And just like the thickness of the ring is also very large, so you have even less of a side picture of it. Like the affected amount of like sight that you get is very tiny. Like, so I'm putting it on C, but you know, it's not totally garbage by any means. M19, same thing as the other pistols. It's a pistol, man. Like, what do you want? M4, I know most people use the Blueprint one, which has a little larger rear sight, but you know, even the stock default M4 is pretty decent. And since you're gonna use this more like medium to close range, it doesn't matter too much. So I think is a B. M4 is a B tier. Not exceptional, but you know. M91. I don't know. I haven't used this gun too much, but just looking at it, like, there's a lot of bulk. Like this entire part here, like, just covers your sight. But you know, the middle one's pretty tiny. It's not very in your way, so I think it's a C. MG34, man, I do not like this gun. And the problem is the sight is like really shallow. It's kind of like a pistol sight, but on an LMG. So it's very like, you just have this little notch with the post in there poking out, and you have this like plate on the side with the meter edge, but you're not gonna look at it when you're actually shooting it. So it's very hard to use. So I think it's a D for me. Mark II. Yeah, this gun is alright. It's not good, but like, it has a very clean sight. Aside from like the rear sight body here being very spiky, the actual sight picture is pretty nice. So I think it's an A tier. Model 680. It's kind of the same thing as the Mark II. It has this like cover part on the sides. Side picture, like the rear circle is alright, and I don't know why like it has like 3 tiny posts on the middle. I don't see the point because it's a shotgun, but it gets the job done, I guess. Let's see. MB5, like, the iron sight doesn't really matter because you're gonna use this at super close range, but it's not half bad either. It has a little bit of bulk, but the front, like the notch here is very clean, like lines up perfectly with the front sight, and you know, the actual front sight post is pretty nice. So I think it's an A tier. MP7. It has that like pistol style of sight, so you have this notch, have this giant ass plate here, which is kind of bulky, with the notch in the middle. So I would say it's a C tier. Odin, man, Odin is actually like one of the cleanest sights in the game, honestly. I would put it on S tier because it's like super. It has a super large ring. I know some of the blueprints don't even have the ring, so you have an even clearer sight. But you have the super clear ring. The front sight posts a little bit on the thick side, but it's still very clean. Orange, man, this, I almost want to make an F tier for the orange because this thing is so unnecessarily bulky. Like, it has these giant protective sides here that curve outward, and then you have this super giant plate with the rear circle. And the front sight is like these two, like they have these protective sides as well that kind of like curve like outward, and it had the tiny thing spiking up, and you have the front sight poster. Super unnecessary, honestly, and just bulky. That's all I can say. It's bulky, and you know, it doesn't really matter when you're using yours because you're gonna be hip firing most of the time. But for what it is, it's very bad. Like that's D for sure. P90, it's very slim. I can say this is a very slim sight. Like this is all it takes from the screen, and that's pretty alright. And Trey has that kind of pistol style, kinda, not entirely, but it's very clean. And since you're gonna use it up close, you can stay on target pretty well. So I think it's A. PKM. Again, it's that pistol style, like with super like you have this very shallow notch here in the front sight. If it didn't have the protective sides on the post on the front sight, I think it would be a little better, but these like two thingies coming out the sides just kind of obstruct your view, so I think it's a D. R90, pretty alright actually. Doesn't take too much of the screen. Front sight, sure, it has a little bit of bulk, but it's still pretty clean. I'd say it's a B tier. So like for when you need to aim down sight with the R90, yes, at least you still get a pretty decent sight picture. RAM 7, it looks very similar to the Fennec. They have this almost circle here with this open space, and the front sight post is green, like neon green. I don't get why. It doesn't like add anything to it. Doesn't make it clearer to see. And it does have some bulk from this this knob here. So I think it's a C. Although, you know, you use this very up close, so close to medium, so it doesn't matter too much. Renetti, same thing from the other pistols. Just go right here. SA87. Yeah, this is very bulky. Front sight, the protective sides, kind of almost line up. So I think if you were a little larger, you would get a little better sight picture. But again, you have this big ass knob here, and these the rear sight extends up like this. I think it's a C. Sorry, C. Scar, man, the Scar is like really good. You have these very thin, like super thin sights, and they line up like perfectly, the rear and the front. So you get this very clean circle in the middle. And again, just the fact that it's lean gives you a lot more view of what's going on around, so you can keep on target really good. So I dare to say this is an S tier sight. If the gun wasn't so bad, this would be really good to take advantage of, you know. SKS, very bulky. Kind of falls into the same thing as the EK. Have this big ass rear sight block here, and you have like the charging handles on the side as well, kind of blocking the view a little bit. So that's a D. Okay, we're down to the last couple ones. Striker 45. It's alright. have a bit of the arm, the hand kind of covering the side, but your view, but it's fine. Front sight doesn't line up with the rear. I think if it did, it would be better. And that's alright, I guess. I never really used this thing, I guess. I don't recall ever using it, but it probably did at some point, but I don't remember. Anyway, Uzi. I kind of don't like it. In theory, you do get a pretty nice side picture, but like the muzzle flash of this thing is so bad that you can't keep on target at all. So like, I put it on C. The VLK, man, like this thing, it's really... Actually, before we do the VLK, because I got some stuff to talk about it, I'm just put the X16 again. Honestly, I think I'd put like the X16 on the B, because it's your starter weapon, and it actually has a... Compared to the other pistols, it's a little bit better. They have those like those white dots to kind of help you a little bit, but I think I think it's pretty much the same. On the grand scheme of things, they're all the same. But finally, the VLK Rogue. What I don't like about this, like you can't see really on the picture, but what I don't like about it is that your character's hand takes like half, like your entire left side of your view. So if you're aiming down the side of this thing, you lose all your left side. And also, like, you have this weird ass cutout on the circle for I don't know why. And the front sides, like the protective sides on the front side, like right in the middle of your side picture. So if you're trying to get it like a slug, like a little bit longer shot, this thing is gonna be like really hard to use, I feel like, because it's just like this fucking thing in the middle, man. If it was like a little more closer to the rear side, but it's like right in the middle, like sticks out like a fucking sore thumb, man. Honestly, D. Like, I feel like we could like rank, like kind of make a sub rank, and just organize like from the worst to best of each tier, just to add a little bit more spice to the video. So like, VLK is like down the bottom, PKM. The Origin also, like Origin, like SKS, card, AN94 goes back here as well. Fennec goes here. EBR as well after the Fennec. CR56. CR56 is like the top on the D tier because it's the least bad of all these. On C, let's see, no pun intended. I think Bison is on the bottom here. And I think put the pistols out here on the bottom because really, like, they're equally the same. At this teeny tiny site, it's not really worth going through all of them. The Bison, I put it here on like the lowest. The Uzi also like on the bottom. S87 for the striker. Ram 7 as well. MP7, M91, M13 on the bottom here. I feel like Foul after this. No, actually striker. Then Foul. Then the 680, and then the MP7. Okay, B, kind of pretty small compared to the rest. The worst one here, I feel like the ISO, because it's really wonky. RNA node's fine. 725, that's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. M4, I think the M4 goes before the 725 because you just don't get that super clear sight. Also, like the Kilo has that same problem. Like you have this circle in the middle that's kind of fuck you up a little. That Bruin, yeah, Bruin goes like all the way back here, and the Kilo is like top on the B tier, I think. Okay, maybe this is better. Okay, on the A tier, let's see. The MK2 goes all the way back. Holger as well. After that, no, actually no, Holger on the bottom. MP5, yeah, I'm gonna rake it a little bit low on the A tier. P90, yeah, P90 goes above the regular Grau. And I think the FAMAS is the top on the A tier. And the S tier, I think on the S tier, man, I feel like the Finn would go down. And the Olden. No, actually, that's a really tough pick, you know. I feel like, yeah, it's really hard to rank between these because they're all really good. But if I had to, I think, yeah, I think this car goes on the bottom, then the Finn, then the Odin, and the top of all of them, the Archangel, Grau, obviously. But yeah, this is my tier list of all the iron sights in the game. So yeah, this is it. I will be putting the link in the description if you want to rank your own iron sights. This is on the tier maker website, so you just go to the link and you can do your own list of iron sights. And yeah, I'll be looking forward for any other versions of this if anyone wants to make it. And yeah, if you like this style of Call of Duty stuff, you know, something other than the edited videos and the montages, because I've been wanting to do more things like that, more commentary kind of stuff. You know, if you want to see more of this, just leave a comment or whatever, or share as well. That's really important. But yeah, I think I'll be calling it for now, and I'll see you in the next one.